What's up, listeners? Thanks for tuning in to another episode of the In the Endzone podcast. Just a quick heads up before we jump right into it. You can find this recording as well as some of our previous recordings on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. You can find us by searching at Settle Down Media on both of those sites. Be sure to follow us on our social media pages. We regularly post on Instagram. You can find us by searching at In the Endzone podcast on Instagram. So thanks for watching this and enjoy the rest of the episode. Peace.
Hey, sisters.
Yo. Happy New Year. How are we doing, fellas?
Happy New Year, gentlemen. You know what?
Good.
We could be better right now. We could be good. We could be a little bit better right now, you know.
Well,
The
let's take
viewers,
the
Happy New Year's to
we
you guys
out of
as
it.
well.
We out
I
of
hope
it.
that you guys are doing better than Ant and I. We are a little bit hungover in this evening, which is really unfortunate because I'm not going to speak for you, but I've been up since 8, and this hangover just has not gone away. It hasn't gone away.
I've been up since 9, so I mean, it's
just brutal. It's just continuing to pound.
I bet none of you guys had to go to the ER at 2 a.m. So
yeah, no, not me. What happened?
What happened?
Sage slipped and fell on some black. Sage, Ant, actually hold up what you have right now. There you go. Send that over to Zach, please. Sage slipped and fell on some black ice last night at like midnight and basically cracked her skull.
Oh no!
Not bad. Okay. She just had to get a couple staples. Yeah, she's dead.
Did she have a concussion?
No.
Oh
no,
yeah.
She's actually
no
doing
concussion,
well.
really.
No.
She had to get staples though. Staples are the worst. I had to get that when I was a kid, when I was like 5 years old. Worst thing ever.
I'm more of an Office Max guy, but Staples is decent too. So
I'm more of a butterfly stitch guy, you know.
Yeah.
Real quick, so I just want to bring this up. Happy New Year, fellas. I kind of want to bring this up real quick. How was your guys' Christmas / or just holidays in general? You know, to a quick sum up. You know, Zach, let's start with you.
Mine was good, and Keaton, we missed you, man. It's been a while since you've been on, so
I know, a couple weeks.
Good to have all the boys here, which I'm excited about, and excited for this new year. But my Christmas was awesome. I went back home, which is in NorCal. Nob Hill specifically, got to see my family, my grandma, my aunts, my cousins. So that was really cool. Hung out with them, got a lot of good food in my system, which was awesome. Ate way too much, though, that week. I low-key felt sick for like the last 3 days because of how much I ate. But it was worth it. Definitely worth it. Got to see my family. That was good. And then obviously the New Year's, I got to hang out with a couple of friends here in Costa Mesa. Didn't really do much outside of just going to a bar at like 9 p.m. Played some pool, tried to play some pool, didn't play pool, instead played shuffleboard. Played shuffleboard for a bit, and then we walked home at like 11 and we played 7-Eleven dubs until like 12:05. Realized it was the New Year. Like, oh shit, it's the New Year. Happy New Year. Gave each other a couple hugs and tried ordering Del Taco. Del Taco ends up not having any fucking drivers. Taco Bell was closed, and I walked down there so fucking happy. Hell yeah, I'm going to get some Taco Bell. I had my order engraved in my head. So fucking excited for it.
2 steak quesadillas and a Doritos Locos Taco?
No, I was going to do something different this time. I walked down, I turned left because I'm looking at like the what the fuck's that store right there? The laundry room. Laundry room, and I'm looking at it, I'm like, oh shit. And I turned to my right. I'm like, what the fuck is that? There was like some homeless guy across the street, like saying some shit. I'm like, okay. Turn to my left, and I literally just see darkness, no lights. I'm sitting there like, I literally am standing there like visibly wet. Turned around, went home. Andy and I, who is probably not watching this, but if she is, shout out to you, Andy. She's like, we should DoorDash some Del Taco. I'm like, all right, cool. We end up DoorDashing Del Taco. There is not a driver that comes. We fall asleep. No one can pick up our order. Andy ordered the food off of Austin's phone, who's the guy. Austin wakes up at 7:50 and says Del Taco will arrive at 8:30 a.m. Didn't get canceled. And so it was going to get arrived at 11 or 8:30 a.m. He's like, nope. Cancels it. And he canceled it like right before they started the order. I was so impressed. God. Dude, and so at that point, I'm like, fuck this. I walk downstairs, I go to the vending machine, and I get some Munchies pack. I'm like, this'll do. Ate that in my room, just fucking depressed. Like, why the fuck couldn't I get food? No Del Taco, no Taco Bell. Fuck this. Went to bed, but it was a good one overall. Keaton, how about you? Besides having to go to ER.
Yeah, everything went well, man. Just a good holiday. Went back home with family, and celebrated New Year's, and that's about it, man. Just
Nice.
yeah.
How was
No
the
sweet
casserole
potato
this year?
casserole.
Yeah, how was the
Oh,
casserole?
dude. Sweet potato casserole. Wasn't I didn't even try it, dude. It was like 20 people there, 25 people, and she
You
made a
should.
container that probably feeds 2 people. And
Oh.
so
You
it was
didn't
like
get
all
to?
you could get was like no, there's no way. Just not gonna
That was
happen.
probably for the better though, huh?
Oh, dude, it looked disgusting.
Dude, that one video that you sent us is all mush and shit and liquid. I'm like, oh my god.
So
Ain't no
gross.
way I'm fucking
Potato
eating that.
casserole. It's bad.
And what about you though? You had a good Christmas, good New Year's?
Yeah, good Christmas. Got to see family throughout a lot of days, but it was good. It was a good
Better
time.
than expected, or was it exhausting?
I mean, it was fine. Yeah, it's exhausting for sure, but I mean, like, it was still fine though. Got to see, and then my mom's side, that was great. And then my interview that was on the 26th went fantastic, fellas.
Oh
Nice.
yeah, dude. Oh yeah, good for you.
Waiting
Do
on
you
a
have an
phone
update?
call.
No.
No, not yet.
Nothing
Still
yet?
waiting on a phone
Need
call
my
right now for
Pookie
this week.
back.
I know. So for those of you who don't know right now, waiting on a phone call right now. I tell them I'm going to stay in the Bay Area, so because they want me to meet some people up here in Bay. So I was like, that's fine, but that's why I'm not in Southern California yet with my Pookie Bear Zach Boyson right now. It's making me very, very sad.
And you won't be here for the weekend for when Keaton visits, which
Yeah, I
an
know.
announcement about later, but
Yeah, I'm really
Shame.
bummed out. I'm
Shame.
so bummed out about that.
It's okay. We replaced you already, so I'm not worried.
Yeah, I figured,
Yeah.
but it's okay.
It
But
happens.
no, I mean, it was good. Then I hung out with Stewie and his family for New Year's, and that's about it. I mean, we had a good time, and then I Ubered myself home, and my Uber driver was very sketchy, and that's it. And then I fell asleep.
nothing like a sketchy Livermore Uber.
Yeah, the guy barely spoke English, but he was just weird. He was just weird. I don't know.
Yeah. Yep. Well, that's good, fellas. I'm glad that we're all back, starting the new year off strong. Keaton,
We're here.
roll the intro.
Green 18. Red 48. Settle down. White 80. Set hut.
We suck. We suck. Get rid of Belichick. Get rid of Mac Jones. Get rid of our entire fucking receiving core.
You guys are 2-8.
That's what I thought. 2-7, 2-8. It doesn't matter. We still suck.
So Seahawks played the Ravens. Final score was 28-25. Geno Smith, 5 touchdowns, no interceptions. Anyway, not really much to write home about that game. Just
Right.
This is
I don't
egregious,
think Jared Goff is a top 5 quarterback in the NFC.
Wait,
think-
are
I
you putting
think
Justin
Jared
Herbert? Are you putting Justin Herbert over Jared Goff? first off?
Yes.
It was like an interview for like a new podcast company.
Yeah.
Called
Mhm.
Brazzers. I mean, you could see I'm literally I'm in the headquarters right now, dude.
Just a quick
Man.
update for y'all. We still suck.
Yeah.
I've had some really,
Just do
really
suck.
bad picks this last year.
Geno
That
Smith,
Jared
5
Goff won.
touchdowns, no
Bengals
interceptions.
winning the fucking Super Bowl. It's been rough.
Yeah,
It's been
it's
rough.
okay.
I'm
Hey,
hoping
we'll
this
get into
year
that
will
though.
Yeah, we're gonna
Yeah,
talk a little
yeah.
bit about that.
Hey.
Well, yeah, let's jump into week 17. I mean, we had a lot of games played on Christmas, after Christmas, but there were some good ones. And the first game that we're going to review, which is the Chiefs at Steelers, was not a good one. The Chiefs ended up winning that one 29-10. The Ravens then played the Texans, just belt to ass 31-2. That game was awful. And then maybe the most boring game of all time that I've ever watched on primetime, Seahawks at Bears. Seahawks won that
Dude.
6-3.
Defense hater.
6-3.
This guy doesn't like
It
good
wasn't
football.
fucking defense. It wasn't defense. It was bad offense.
Great football.
The Chargers then gave Drake May and your Pats a little bit of belt to ass as well, Anthony, because they won 40-7. The Broncos and Bengals played in one of the better games, if not the best game of the year, and the Bengals won 30-24 to keep their season alive. And we'll talk about this later. The Rams at Cardinals. Rams won 13-9. Jags at Titans 20-13 in a kind of surprising outcome, but that game's always pretty close. The Bucks, man, oh man, would that be the one team that I would not want to play because they have an offense that could put up 48 like they did against the Panthers. 48-14, Bucks took that one. The Giants and Colts played in a kind of surprising outcome. The Giants won 45-33. The Raiders then beat the Saints 25-10. Eagles gave the Cowboys belt to ass 41-7, and Micah Parsons said it came down to 3 different plays. Okay. Bills at Jets, 40-14. Bills won that one. Miami beat the Browns 20-3. Packers and Minnesota played in a fucking crazy good game, which wasn't. I feel like that score is a little deceiving, but Minnesota
wasn't as close as this.
Yeah, did end up letting the Packers come back a little bit, but Minnesota won 27-25. The Falcons then played the Commanders 30-24, in which the Commanders won, and the Lions and the 49ers capped off this week with another loss for the 49ers, 40-34.
Rack them up, dude. Top 10 pick.
A lot of good games. I believe the Niners have the 11th pick now, but there's a couple of games that we want to specifically talk about, and the first one is that Chiefs versus Steelers. Is a three-peat really going to happen? I mean, fellas, at this point, if I'm going to be completely honest with you, if I was to make my bracket, the first thing that I would do would have the Chiefs run through the AFC. Run, Super Bowl. And the only one that I would think possibly they can lose to is the Bills. That's the only one. I don't see an NFC team being the fucking Chiefs. I don't. I think it's the Bills or they do it again. That's
and you have to.
And if I was to bet on who I think is going to win the Super Bowl, it would be the Chiefs. Keaton,
dude, you know what's crazy is it's so favorable for them because their first round matchup, the Chiefs, would be Pittsburgh or Houston if the standings stay the way that they are. So if season ended today, and then that Kansas City could play the winner of the Chargers, Baltimore, Denver, or Buffalo. So they could play one of any 4 of those teams. And can you imagine if like the Chargers went on some crazy run? Chiefs have a pretty easy cakewalk, whereas someone like Detroit has probably played Minnesota first week of the playoffs.
Yep.
First week of the divisional round. So
yep.
Yeah. I think a three-peat's possible with the bracket the way it's structured right now.
Oh, I could see it happening. And I'm going to pick them to win. When we do our predictions next week, once the playoffs are set, they will be my winner. I'm just going to say that now.
Agreed.
What do you think?
I don't think so.
Really?
I genuinely do not think so.
Oh, baby.
I'm not saying it. I'm not saying this because it's not because I'm a Chiefs hater. It's nothing like that. I truly don't think they're going to win it. I truly don't think so. I think teams that honestly have a fair shot at beating the Chiefs this year. In the AFC, there are 2 teams. 2 teams, maybe 3. Maybe 3.
Ravens, Bills.
No, honestly 2. Ravens and Bills. People are saying as well, you know, oh, if the Bengals get in, if the Bengals make playoffs, they play the Bills, right? And they're saying like, oh, Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs, they're scared to play the Bengals. And I'm all like, no, absolutely not. And here's the reason for that too. It's because the Bengals defense, it's not great. Their defense is not that great. It's really not good. They would love to play the Bengals. They would love that. Absolutely love that. It would totally be an offensive game in that point. The Bills, on the other hand, I'm sorry. I think the Bills can do it. And honestly, yeah, like I said, I think the Ravens can do it. I honestly think that the Lamar Jackson can get out of his slump against Patrick Mahomes, and I think he can do it this year. NFC, it's a little bit more difficult. I feel like maybe the Lions, yeah, but even then, right, even this last game against the Niners, right, the Lions game, it was too many injuries. Aiden Hutchinson did say if they make it to the Super Bowl or make it deep into playoffs, that he would be back in time and ready to play. But nevertheless, though, I don't know, though. That one's questionable. But for me, I doubt it. Honestly, I don't think that the Chiefs are going to win it again. I don't think they're going to make that three-peat. That's just my opinion, though.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's fair. Eventually, you have to kind of run out of gas or your luck kind of wears off. Unless you're the best coach team in literally every aspect and you have maybe the second best clutch player of all time, in which they do have. And it's extremely hard to bet against them because if the game is close, they win 90% of the games. I mean, with Patrick Mahomes, his record in close games has got to be above 75%, which is nuts. But I could see those 2 teams winning too. I don't see an NFC team winning. Maybe the Vikings, but even so, they have weaknesses that I just don't see them doing it.
I think it's Minnesota right now. I think they're the team to represent the
NFC. Yep.
Yeah.
I agree. The other team that played, though, in that game was the Steelers, and it just looks like they're running out of gas. It's starting to look like the Mike Tomlin 9-7, 9-8 kind of curse is coming back. I mean, at the point in which we're talking right now, the Steelers are what, 10-6?
10-6.
And they have clinched a spot. They're 10-6. If they lose, which I think they're going to lose against Bengals, we'll talk about this later, they will be 10-7. Again, you start out strong, then you get to a position where you just don't finish strong. And it just seems like they're running an offense that's from the fucking 50s. That defense is physical, but they lose a couple of guys. And this is just the Steelers, man. It's the Steelers with Mike Tomlin. That's really what this is. And I don't know if you guys have anything else, but I think we both agree, or all three agree, that they have ran out of gas. And I would not be scared to play the Steelers at all in the playoffs.
I think
that's my opinion.
I agree with that. And I think Pickens being injured does not help. Severely limitates what that offense can do. I'm gonna be honest, man. I think Russell Wilson's played good enough. Last couple weeks, man, he just hasn't looked his usual self. There's just certain little things where I'm like making bad pre-snap reads. Yeah, he just looks,
just almost complacent.
Yeah, he just doesn't look comfortable right now. And maybe that's the offensive line not giving him enough time, but he takes a lot of these sacks where I'm like, 5 years ago, you would know to scramble or throw that away.
Throw it away. Yep.
So,
yeah.
I think they're running out of gas.
I think
prototypical Steelers.
And I think you agree. Do you have anything else to add?
No, I mean, you guys said it all. They're running out of gas. They're gonna go out round one in the playoffs. Like I don't think it's gonna be. It's not like it's gonna be like, oh man, this team's gonna be an easy win or anything like that. But they're out of gas. I don't see it. I don't see it happening. They're not going far.
Right. Couldn't agree more. There's two teams that are either not going to go far at all or could actually make the playoffs, and they played against each other. The Broncos versus the Bengals. Again, we talked about it. The Bengals must win out in these last 3 games, and they have done it with the last 2 games, and they are playing now the Steelers, which we'll talk about later. However, they played the Broncos in one of the best games of the year, and they won. And Joe Burrow, yet a fucking again, showed why he is the second best quarterback in the league, in my opinion. And my personal opinion should be the MVP. I mean, it's just incredible what he's doing with that offense, and it's got to be discouraging. Like, you look at a lot of these guys, especially like guys like Caleb Williams and younger guys, that momentum's a huge thing for fucking football, huge thing for quarterbacks, huge thing for that. When your defense can't stop shit and you're fucking arguing with your coach, I'm over this shit, fuck this shit, I'm done. And then you go out and you do something like that and you continuously do it over and over and over and over again. Just shows you how much of a dog Joe is. And he's playing generational. Like, that's not just some fucking bullshit excuse or bullshit fucking saying. He is playing generational. And look, I truly hope they get in. There's a lot of scenarios that we'll talk about later. But the Broncos, man, I mean, all you have to do is win one of the last 2 and you get in. One of the last 2. You choke a game like that, and that was not a game the Bengals should have won. Not a game the Bengals should have won. I mean, you doinked the kick. You turned the ball over a couple times. You had a couple unlucky fucking penalties. But that's a game you got to win. You got to win. And Bo Nix, man, I think he's been good, but that's a game you got to win against a fucking prolific quarterback like Joe. You duel him. You play pretty well, but you have to win that game. You have to.
Yeah.
And now they're playing the fucking Chiefs, who are going to bench, their starters because they've locked the number 1 seed, I believe, in the AFC. But just a tough game overall. I don't know if you guys have anything to add. Joe Burrow, in my opinion, is the MVP. Bo Nix has looked decent. I'm very shocked that the Bengals are even in this position. I don't know if that's how you guys feel, but this is fucking insane.
Ant, you wanna lead?
Yeah, sure. I agree, Zach. If the Bengals make the playoffs, Joe Burrow is the MVP. Just going to throw that right there on the table right now. Joe Burrow is first in passing yards, by the way, with 4,641 passing yards. Generational, like what you said. He's doing something almost unheard of right now. I mean, that even goes with Jamar Chase right now, too. First in receiving yards as well with 1,612. Like,
he's the triple crown leader.
Yes,
He's leading the league in
absolutely.
receptions, touchdowns, and yards. It's just
Exactly. So
dude.
I mean, that Bengals offense is nuts right now. It's just a matter of, hey, can that defense step up a little bit more now, you know? But yeah, like, I mean, you said it too. Broncos need to win one game. And Bo Nix is pulling off a Bo picks right now. And it's not looking great. Like, you gotta step up, Bo. I'm sorry, man. I get you're just a rookie, but hey, man, honestly, no matter what, at the end of the season, no matter how it goes down, Bo, you played an incredible first season. Just want to give you flowers right there.
Yes.
But that's all I gotta say.
Only thing I'm gonna say is the Bengals. Look, I'm gonna be 100% transparent. We'll talk more about playoff scenarios, whatever. I don't think the Bengals are gonna make the playoffs. If by some, insane chance in hell that they do, I think Joe Burrow's locked that MVP. But on the flip side, man, if the Broncos somehow find a way to not make it, in the fact that they pretty much needed one win over the last 3 weeks, and they've carried a lead into the half of the last 2 games and lost it in the second half. I mean, if they lose again and the Bengals make the playoffs or make that wild card, I think you're talking about an all-time choke for a playoff spot. All time.
My God, you're playing a fucking Bengals team who has the worst defense in the league. And now you're going to play a Chiefs team who is playing their JV squad, their B squad.
Yeah.
You can't beat them. It's just bad news. And I'll say this. The Bengals have 4 players that are top 10 in their positions with specific stats. They have Joe Burrow, who's number 1 in passing. They have Trey Hendrickson, who's number 1 in sacks. Jamar Chase is number 1 in literally every statistical fucking category. And then you have Chase Brown, who's like top 15 in rushing. It's like, dude, you have guys all over the fucking field. Not like you lack talent. It's just been one of those things. Their defense just takes shits. So we'll talk about it later. I'm very curious to see what you guys think. I'll briefly talk about this one, the Bills versus Jets. I think it's over for Aaron Rodgers. Honestly, I think he should retire. And I think we can talk about MVP talk later, but realistically, right now, you got to favor our boy fucking winning it. I mean, I want to say Lamar deserves to win it because this would be his best year out of the 3 years that he's potentially won the MVP, but voter fatigue is an actual thing. And I think Josh Allen is more valuable for the Bills than Lamar is for the Ravens. And that's not saying anything about Lamar, but I think genuinely Josh should win it. He should be the favorite. But yeah, it's over for Aaron Rodgers. I mean, I don't know if you guys think he should retire. I think he should hang up the cleats,
Yeah. I do. I mean, I've said this. I didn't think he should have gone to the Jets. I thought after the Packers, he should have called it quits. I was saying, hey, you kind of want to do your last couple of years with another team. That's fair. Russell Wilson style, right? But not saying they're the same quarterback, but in that same manner. And it's just, it hasn't been good. I mean, you tear your ACL. If that's not a sign to quit, I don't know what is. You come back and look, man, this is New York sports. This is New York football. They haven't been winning since a couple years of the Mark Sanchez era, and pretty much before that, nothing before Joe Namath.
They're also ruthless, man.
So
he's just not a fucking New York quarterback.
Yeah. I think he's gone. I think he's toast. The one thing I hate about Aaron Rodgers, I've always hated him. I have never seen a quarterback that throws worse balls, like that throws awful throws, and then has the audacity to blame the wide receivers. So,
least accountable quarterback of all time.
Up there for
least
sure.
Accountable great quarterback of all time.
Yeah, I've never seen a quarterback that has more excuses than Aaron Rodgers.
And realistically, his stats aren't that bad, but to me, he's just not a contender anymore. I don't think he could take a team from 10 wins to 14 and win a Super Bowl. It's just done.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, we got potentially a preview of maybe the NFC Championship, if not an NFC playoff game with the Packers versus Minnesota. Are these the 2 best teams in the NFC right now, fellas?
Yep.
No.
I mean,
no.
It's really hard to make a decision between these 3 teams because
I'm tripping.
Me personally, I think the Rams are fine. I think the Bucks are fine. I think the Falcons, if they get in, are fine. But the 3 best teams are the NFC North teams: the Packers, the Vikings, the Lions.
We're missing one. NFC East teams.
Oh, I'm sorry, and the Eagles. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was missing the Eagles too.
That's
Eagles are probably the best in the
completely
NFC.
forgot about the Eagles. But there's a legit argument for Minnesota and the Packers, the way that they played, for them being the best team. We've seen inconsistencies with the Eagles and the Lions recently. So those got to be the 4 best teams. Those are the teams that I think could win it. I think the best team in the NFC, and I'm going to say it, is the Vikings. I don't. If there was someone right in front of me saying, who do you think is going to make it to the NFC Championship, I would say, unless they play each other on that side of the bracket, I would have the Eagles and the Vikings as 1 and 2 best teams in the NFC. And then I'd have the Lions probably 3rd and the Packers 4th. And the reason why, Packers, I think, at their highest can play with anyone and can be the best, but they just don't win close games. All the games that they played against, they've lost, have been against their own division. And you will play a divisional opponent in the playoff. Got to win one. And then the Lions, they're just too hurt, man. I fucking love that team. And the players that they have, they're fucking fun to watch. But when you look at a team that gives up 34 to a 49ers offense, that sucks. That sucked. That's worrisome. It is worrisome. They are looking like a shootout Bengals type of team. Yeah. I mean, the last 3 fucking weeks, we've seen it. We've seen it.
They are.
That's my opinion. Thanks for the reminder with the Eagles, both you guys, because that was not even a team.
I forgot. I know. I forgot.
Was like, there's got to be another team that's fucking good. But
yeah,
those teams are definitely the ones that I think can be competitive. And then the last one, I think we're going to probably skip just because we're going to talk about the playoff scenario, but it was Miami versus the Browns. We'll talk about if Miami can make the playoffs later, but that will be a little fun conversation. But we're going to get into the news. For some reason, I feel like this whole season, during the season, there hasn't been a lot of news sections. I guess off season kind of runs that. That makes sense, but we haven't had a lot of news go down. One of them was Eric Dickerson's record. It's not going to be broken because Saquon Barkley is a healthy scratch this next game, just because they've clinched the 2nd spot, I believe, in the NFC. I will say Eric has been really weird with this scenario because at one point when asked on the field about people breaking his record, they were like, hey, what would you think if your record was to be broken by either Saquon or Derrick Henry? And he was like, oh, I wouldn't mind it. Like, I would love for them to do that. And then on the other hand, just a week ago, he was asked about it and he's like, hell no, I don't want them to break my record. Hell no, I don't want Saquon to break my record. Like, that's my record. Like, you can't really be hypocritical like that and say you want it and then you don't. So that was kind of weird. And for some reason, the NFL was fucking pushing that story. Like, I saw like 3 fucking posts on it, but it's not going to happen. Saquon should win Offensive Player of the Year. Actually, he will win Offensive Player of the Year. Shout out to Saquon. You've been fucking incredible. One of the best offensive years I've ever seen and one of the best running back years I've ever seen. We've been fucking blessed with running back play recently because last year we had CMC. This year we had Saquon. He's going to be a healthy scratch is what it is. And I hate the Eagles, but I love Saquon.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. Them sitting him is dumb. I know there's the asterisk of the extra game or whatever, but the fact is, this is what football is. It's not all about championships. There are some personal records that I think
there's accolades.
If you're Nick Sirianni, man, just let the guy go out there and play. Like, it's just, I don't know. To me, it's anti-football to just sit a guy just to give him some rest, especially when he's so close. If he had like 300 yards away, I wouldn't give a shit. But he's so close, let him go out there for a half, pull him back out.
Yep.
So Saquon did come out and he straight up said, he was all like, you could put me out there if you want. If not, I totally understand it. But he straight up said, he's like, I don't care about that. He's like, I care about something more and I want to see the team win and I have a bigger picture in mind. So Saquon's honestly kind of doing it to himself too, though. And kind of give him a little bit of respect. I kind of give him a little bit of respect for it. I will say that. Like, he straight up said, like, hey, like, I got something bigger in mind. All good. I
want to follow up with that because this is one of the main reasons why I started to really like Saquon. To be honest with you, I didn't know Saquon. Like, as a Giant, I thought he was a cocky prick. I was like, oh, he's just like a pretty boy that thinks he's fucking great. With the Eagles, That man's been mic'd up multiple times. The interviews that he's fucking answered and the way that
he's awesome
this
to
record,
listen to.
Genuinely, he is a great fucking dude. Not cocky, wants the best for his team, wants to win. That's not who I thought he was, so I apologize. Saquon, I love watching you. Shout out to you, man. You've had a great fucking year.
Yeah.
This is a great fucking point. John Gruden is feeling nicey as he's going to get a chance to be an NFL head coach in this offseason, as there are about 5 teams currently looking at him to lead an NFL franchise once again. I think he got the opportunity just because this offseason he's kind of started his social media, and then Barstool actually signed him. So he's just had a lot of exposure to what he can be. Not to say John's a great coach or a bad coach or a great guy or a bad guy, but he is fucking entertaining. He is entertaining as hell. Entertaining as hell. And those emails he sent, not good. Some of the shit that he says, not good. His old school style of coaching, some people can take it and be like, it's not the greatest. However,
he'll at least have he'll have a chance.
That dude's going to have a chance, and he will make a team entertaining to watch. I guarantee you that.
What teams are interested?
I'm not sure. I think
some of the main ones, Dallas, Indianapolis, Dallas, Indianapolis, and New Orleans are some, to name the few. Those are the main ones. Now, obviously, you're going to have 55 coaching candidates.
Yeah.
Maybe Brian Daboll's gone, but you're going to have, Ben Johnson can pick any team and go there.
Yep.
You're going to have a ton of opportunities. However, there's a limited number of spaces. So I doubt he gets it, but they're looking at
an opportunity.
At
least he'll have an opportunity. Moving on to a team that we've talked about quite a few times in this episode. Jair Alexander is out for the rest of the season after his knee was scoped to help clean out loose tissue and alleviate swelling. I believe he actually tore his PCL.
He did tear his PCL, yep.
Yeah, he tore his PCL. So he's going to be out. It's possible he's coming back during the playoffs, but his earliest return would be for a Super Bowl game, and it doesn't seem like the Packers are going to make that. So, at least in my predictions. Really tough loss for them. And again, this NFC North, it seems like they kind of have a curse with fucking getting injured. I don't know what it is. The Vikings have stayed relatively healthy. The Lions and Packers, though, they have been hurt. I saw like a bunch of comments of people saying it's the NFC North curse, but yeah, dude, that's a fucking big blow. Big blow. Big blow, because that guy is one of the only guys in the league that can genuinely shut down your wide receiver. We've seen him do it with some of the best. Justin Jefferson, we've seen him go like 3 for 7 against him. So that's a tough loss. That is a tough loss for the Packers.
It's going to be huge for them, especially that defense is just kind of getting lit up a little bit.
Defense has been a little 50-50.
A little bit loosey-goosey.
But, man, we've done pretty good this whole year without mentioning who we're going to mention next. This one's unfortunate.
Hold on. I don't know about you guys, but I'm feeling 22. Everything's going to be all right. You
don't want to bring it up.
To you.
However, the number one voted on player for the 2025 Pro Bowl games, fan voting, was Travis Kelce. Fellas, Travis Kelce has a career low in yards, 823. 823 yards and 3 goddamn touchdowns. How is this even possible? And so I started to think, I'm like, how could this be possible? Like you said, Keaton, we're feeling a little 22. It's got to be because of the Swifties. Stay out of the NFL. We don't mind you being there, but don't persuade and do shit like this.
Stupid. This is like when they got this is basketball reference. This is like when a bunch of K-pop fans got freaking Andrew Wiggins, the Golden State Warriors basketball player, to an all-star starting game. Don't know how it happened, but they rallied for some reason.
Oh, man. Well, that wraps up our news section. Now we're going to get into probably my favorite segment, besides the one that follows this, of course, Keaton's crazy stats, Ant's crazy stats, and I actually have a crazy stat this week. But this is going to be a fun one because next week we'll actually predict who we think is going to win the playoffs and probably do like maybe a prediction of our awards and stuff too. But there are 4 teams that are fighting for a final spot. Here are the playoff scenarios. And I'm going to read this off, and then we're going to say what we think is going to happen, and then we're going to say what we wish would happen. Okay? Playoff scenario number 1. How can the Bengals make the playoffs? Again, Cincinnati this whole year, it seems like they've been running off of injuries and bad defensive play. Doesn't seem like they're a playoff team. However, they've had some Hail Marys and miracles, and they are here. Cincinnati needs Denver to lose to the Chiefs and the Dolphins to lose or tie to the Jets. Okay, let's move on. Miami, how can they make the playoffs? They need a win and Denver to lose. Denver, yet again, like we've been talking about, all you have to win is two of the last.
All you have to do is win one game. One of the last three.
And you've gone.
Now you got to win one of the last one.
And now it's down to the last game against the best team in football. However, they should be sitting their starters. They will be sitting their starters. So
now,
for you,
one thing I will say, they can still make the playoffs if every other team
loses as well.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So if it ended today, they're in the playoffs. But if they lose and other teams win.
And then the only NFC spot that remains and team that remains is the Falcons. They need a win against the Panthers, and the Bucs will need to lose to the Saints. So we're looking at one spot in the AFC, 3 teams fighting for it, one spot in the NFC, which is divisional, because I don't believe the Falcons are going to be a wild card team.
Nope. No one's in a wild card spot anymore.
So let's talk NFC.
Okay, sorry. NFC, go for it.
I just want to get this out of the way because I think the AFC is going to be a lot more fun to talk about. So the Falcons need a win against the Panthers, doable, and the Bucs need to lose to the Saints.
Possible.
I don't see it happening. I don't see it happening. And
I don't either.
I hope they don't. I'd rather see the Bucs in the playoffs. And
same.
Maybe that's a bad thing to say. And Michael Penix has shocked me a little bit. He doesn't look horrible. He does look like
he looks good enough.
He looks good.
But he looks good.
Will he look good in the playoffs, and will the Falcons actually be competitive? Do they even have a chance? In my opinion, absolutely not. That defense has been inconsistent. And the Bucs, man, they have chemistry. They have Baker, who's just a dog. They have an offense that could put up fucking 40 against most defenses. And the Falcons, they just play a little bit more boring of ball. So I think personally the Bucs are going to win, and I'd rather see the Bucs win. I don't know what you guys think. You guys can go for it.
I agree. The Saints team right now, they're in shambles. I'm sorry, Saints fans. I'm sorry, New Orleans, but you guys are in shambles. You guys have lost a lot of key players this season. And very key players to your entire organization, to your team. You guys are not going to beat the Bucs. It's just not happening. I don't see it. And if you guys do somehow win this game, my God, speechless by Dan and Shay. That's all I'm going to say, though. Keaton.
The problem is it's not unlike NFC football for this to go awry for Tampa Bay. That being said, I don't expect the Bucs to lose, but if they lose, I with 100% certainty can say the Falcons will claim that last spot. And as a little Penix fan, pause.
Hey.
As a Penix fan, I would love to see him in the playoffs, man.
Oh man, no, I honestly,
I'm a Baker guy.
He shocked me, and I do like Baker too. But Michael, he's been easy to root for. I'll say that, and he's played well. Let's get into what I think is a lot more entertaining on the AFC side. I think this is what's going to happen. I think Cincinnati's going to win. I think they're going to win. I think Denver is going to win.
Real quick. Sorry.
Okay.
So my thing is when you're listing everything off, the Bengals also have to win if they want to make playoffs as well.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. I just wanted to make that clear as well.
Yes. Yeah.
They have to win out, and Denver has to lose out pretty much. And like you said, Dolphins need to lose or tie with the Jets. I did not realize a tie would actually count for that too, though. So that was some news to me as well just now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that'd be crazy. There's no shot. But
continue what you're going to say. I'm so sorry.
This is genuinely what I think is going to happen. I think all 3 of these teams are going to win. All 3 of them are going to win. Miami plays the Jets. They're going to win that. Denver plays a Chiefs team that should be sitting all of their players. They're going to win that. And the Bengals are going to have some crazy-ass game against the Steelers where it comes down to the wire. Joe Burrow plays great. They end up winning and just get heartbroken. That's what I think is going to happen. And if that is the case, then Denver gets in. I think Denver gets in. That's my opinion. However, if I could have it be my way, I would want the Bengals to get in. And it's not because of my prediction. It's genuinely just because I want to see Joe Burrow in the playoffs again. I just want to see them make a splash, maybe make a splash. And Miami, to me, dog shit. They're nowhere near what they were last year.
You know what, though?
I mean, Denver would be a fun team to root for. It would be. I like Denver.
If Miami makes the playoffs, that'll be my crowning achievement on this podcast.
Why?
Because I called it 2 months ago when Tua was out. I had a headline that said, "Are the playoff hopes for Miami still possible?" And both of you said no. And I said, "Look, if you look at the schedule, it's not out of possibility. It's difficult, but it is possible."
But here's the thing, though. Tua's still out right now.
I know. Hey, in Tyler Huntley, we trust, man.
But here's the thing, though, and I think we've all seen it. That offense, and for some reason, the entire team does not perform when Tua does not start.
I know.
And that's been proven already this season itself. When Tua was out, for some reason, that team went from being so dominant then to just the shit. Just because Tua was out. Just because Tua, even the defense, everything. And we've seen it. So if Tua's out, I'm sorry. If Tua's out, I think the Jets win.
No way.
Right now. Yeah.
Not the Jets. No way.
Absolutely.
Oh
I think so.
Wait, so what is your prediction and what would you want to happen then?
My prediction, honestly, okay, so Chiefs obviously are not starting their starting lineup, obviously.
No.
So my prediction is I think Denver makes it. I think Denver makes it because I think the Bengals win. I think Denver wins, but I think the Jets win and they beat the Dolphins. Now, the only thing I'd want to change is Denver losing to the Chiefs second string. That's what I want, and then Bengals would go move on. But the only thing, though, is that now I'm looking at it in the playoffs going, you have the Bills versus Bengals. Once again, I brought this up. So that would be a very tough playoff situation right there for both teams that both, honestly, I feel like all three of us are kind of rooting for. So that would be a tough one, and that'd be a very interesting game. But that's that's my prediction, but that's also what I want to happen.
Right. Yeah. No, that's fair. Keaton?
I honestly, dude, I think Denver makes it. I don't expect Miami to lose, even with Tyler Huntley to the Jets. And honestly, I don't expect the Steelers to lose to the Bengals. It's my hot take of the week.
Really?
I think because it's kind of now or never. You can't go into the last week of the season struggling and then expect to just turn it around in the playoffs. It doesn't really happen like that. So I think they're going to flip a switch, but I don't find it possible that both Miami and Denver loses and somehow the Bengals win. But it's it's very improbable. Very improbable. Yeah. And then I think it's Bucks and Denver go to the playoffs.
I could see it. Oh. I could see it. Well, I'm excited. It's going to be a fun week, and next week's segment will be even more fun when we can predict it. But, I have a crazy stat, and this has probably been my favorite segment for the last couple of weeks because it teaches me something new every single time. I don't know if you guys want me to go first or you want to go first, but this one to me has been pretty fucking nuts. So I'm going to share my screen.
Go ahead, Zach.
Can you guys see this?
Yes.
So I knew that this year was pretty good for the NFC North. However, I didn't know it was this good. And I saw a post that said it's the most winning division of all time. And I'm like, is that true? So I went back and I looked at it. They have the best winning record of all time, this NFC North division this year. And we have like the NFC West in 2013.
Prime
NFC
2013
East,
Seattle run.
That was so fucking crazy. That was a crazy year. The NFC East in 2022 really shocked me. I was not expecting that one, but even the AFC West is here for this.
See, but Zach, the 2022 one, that's when Philadelphia and Dallas were rolling.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And the other teams had like a 500.
Giants were a 500 record. Yeah.
That's crazy to me, man. I mean, they have a winning percentage of .672 and have the Bears in that fucking division. So,
dude, can you imagine if the Bears hadn't lost 10 straight?
Dude, I'm telling you, they were decent to begin that fucking year, bro. They were decent, but that was crazy to me. Like, I knew that they were good, but to have a fucking best winning percentage or .672 ever, that shocked
crazy.
me. That shocked me.
Yeah. Well, let me go ahead and give my stat real quick. So, you guys know I'm a Seahawks fan, and I was hoping that when we go to the game this weekend, in Los Angeles, there was going to be some divisional implications, but that's no longer the case. But I still had a pretty neat stat for the Seahawks. So, no NFL team in history has ever had a winning record a winning season with 6 or more home losses in a single season. This was sent 10 days ago, so at the time the Seahawks sat at 8-7. But if they beat the Rams, will be 10-7 with 6+ home losses this season.
So bad. That is
the first time that's ever happened.
That actually is bad.
Yeah.
A couple teams have gone 10-6 or 6 or less losses, but they all had five losses at home. So obviously there's, pick and choose a little bit. The caveat is that there's that extra game, and that extra game was played here. So it's not the easiest thing to have 6 games at home. So that extra game did help. But the fact is, no matter what, it's still a winning season. And it was 2 weeks ago. So pretty crazy, dude. I mean, awesome definition of mid by Seattle Seahawks. 3 straight years of 9-8.
It's tough, but I don't think Mike McDonald showed you that he's a bad head coach. If anything, I'd be excited.
I'm pumped for Mike McDonald. I'm very satisfied with the production. Unless I'm talking about the offense. The offense has been fucking dog shit. But
yeah.
So
yeah.
I actually have a crazy stat. I found it, by the way. So this one is a shout out to the rookie wide receivers. So the only rookie wide receivers to ever have 1,100 plus yards and 10 receiving touchdowns: Randy Moss, Odell Beckham Jr., Jamar Chase, and our boy Brian Thomas Jr.
Dude, shout out to Brian Thomas Jr.
Right?
Wait, what was that stat?
Fucking nobody throwing to him. And then Trevor Lawrence, who's been dog awful. He is a fucking dog.
And what was that stat?
The only rookie wide receivers to ever have 1,100 plus yards and 10 receiving touchdowns.
Dude, if Lad McConkey somehow gets 3 receiving touchdowns.
Honestly, shout out to Lad though. Dude,
he's got 1,100 yards.
Dude,
he's a dog.
I'm telling you.
He's insane.
This wide receiver class is just like the 2016 one. It's giving me flashbacks.
Last year's wide receiver class was great too with Puka.
Oh yeah.
Even 2021's too. 2021's? Are you serious?
The wide receivers are different. They're different now. They're fucking different. I'm telling you, LSU is wide receiver U. There are multiple guys from LSU that are fucking all-pro type of guys. Not Ohio State. It is LSU. All those guys are fucking dogs every year. And Brian Thomas Jr., he's not an exception. Anyways, we are going to move on to our last segment. It's going to be our Week 18 preview and predictions. Like we said, there are some crazy games, and there are some games that even start with Saturday. So first one that we have is the Browns at the Ravens. What are we thinking, fellas?
Browns.
Well, here's the thing, too. We have to keep in mind that some of these teams are not going to be playing their starters.
No.
So
I'm still taking the Ravens. I'm still taking the Ravens.
I'm going to take the Ravens as well.
There's no way.
I don't see it, man. There's no fucking way, right?
Yeah, it's not plausible.
I just realized this. There's not a Thursday night football game this week.
Yep, Seattle wrapped it up, dude.
Yeah.
Oh, that's weird. Why is that?
Yeah. I don't know.
Is there a reason for it?
I think it was last season the same way.
Yeah.
Interesting. Well, anyways, we're going to move on. Bengals at Steelers, probably my most exciting game. Yeah, this is probably the most exciting game for me that I'm looking at with all the games that we have this week. I'm going to take the Bengals. I don't have anything else to say. I just think they're going to win.
I've already said my piece with it earlier in our prediction segment. Bengals.
I'm going to take the Steelers.
Oh, fuck. We move on. Here we go with the Sunday games. Last week, Panthers at Falcons. The Falcons are playing for something. The Panthers are not. Give me the Falcons.
Yeah. Come on.
Yeah.
Go. Michael Penix. Mr. Penis might light him up.
Yeah. Give me Michael Penis.
Yeah.
And the Falcons.
Okay. Commanders at Cowboys. I'm gonna take the Commanders. I don't
Commanders.
really see a way in which the Cowboys win, maybe because they want to play with some heart, but yeah, give me the Commanders.
Okay.
Keaton?
Yeah, I'm gonna take the Commanders. I gotta say, Cooper Rush, not a bad backup. Give him his credit.
Not that bad. Bears at Packers. Again, even with Jair out, I'm gonna take the Packers.
Same here. Packers.
Yeah, Packers.
Jaguars at Colts. I mean,
this one's a tough one because Mac Jones has been, he's been winning games for the Jags, and then now you, for some reason, have JT going absolute ballistic for that Colts offense. Out of nowhere, pisses me off. It's a tough one.
Colts.
I think I'm gonna take the Colts as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the Colts. Jags just have too much on the line to win here. So.
Yep. Bills at Patriots. I believe the Bills have locked up the second seed in the AFC. Mm-hmm. They might not be playing a lot of their players. However, I'm sorry, Ant. You suck. Give me the Bills.
So
the 4 wins is
no Keaton. Nope. Keaton, just go. What's your prediction?
Yeah, I'm gonna take the Bills. Come on.
Okay, so real quick, I'm sorry, boys. We're gonna put this on pause real quick. So I just need to let this out for 1 second, okay? At this point,
no.
My prediction. What was my prediction, Keaton? What was it? What was my prediction at the beginning of the season?
Four wins.
We're 3-13. 3-13.
Technically, you have an extra game though too. So
it's ridiculous. 3-13. Don't care. So here's the thing, though. Here's my dilemma. Right now, we have the first pick in the draft. I am beyond ecstatic about that. Honestly, I'm so happy about that pick. Now, do I want my prediction to be right because I just want to say I'm right? Yeah, but but however, I would like to secure a really nice draft pick so we can improve next season, and maybe we'll get those 4 wins. Give me the Bills.
Fair enough.
No.
Giants at Eagles. I think we can all say the Eagles on this one.
Eagles.
Yeah.
Saints at Bucks. Again, I think the Bucks are playing for something.
Bucks.
The Saints are not.
I'm still going to say the Bucks. Yeah, I'm still going to say the Bucks for sure.
Texans at Titans.
Okay.
Boring ass game.
Crazy time to do this. I'm going to take the Titans.
I could see it, dude.
I could see it too.
I could see it. Honestly, I'm going to take the Titans. Fuck it.
I'm going to take the Titans too, actually.
Fuck it. Why not?
Fuck.
49ers at Cardinals.
This is a huge game. Massive playoff implications. Probably game of the month, game of the year. Cardinals.
Yeah.
Give me the midget and the Cardinals.
I'll tell you what. The one thing I'll say about the Niners, this is Brock Purdy's most important game of his career.
Yep. No, he's not playing.
Okay, never. Give me the Cardinals by 1 million.
Yep, exactly. Chiefs at Broncos. I'm going to go with the Broncos.
I'm going to still take the Chiefs.
You know what? Out of despite for what I want, I'm going to take the Chiefs as well.
Oh, I can't. I already said that I thought Denver is going to make it, so I'm going to take the Broncos.
Yep.
I said that's what I think too. Actually, yeah. Yeah.
Broncos, give me the Broncos. Why not?
Broncos, yeah.
No way they choked 3 in a row, right?
Rams.
Seahawks at Rams.
Hey, we'll be there.
For Keaton's sake, I hope it's
Do you know what?
Seattle.
Do you want to know what's crazy?
They aren't.
I'm like 70% sure that Sam Howell's going to start this game. So this will be the third Seahawks game I've been to in the last 2 years. All 3 of them, Geno did not play.
Way.
He's missed 5 games in his whole Seattle career. And I haven't been able to see a single one. Dude, it's fucked. It's fucked.
That is fucked.
Stupid. Stupid.
I want Seattle to win. I don't think Seattle is going to win. Give me the Rams.
I'm going to go with the Rams as well on this.
I'm going to take Seattle. They have a lot of I think they have a lot of pension built up. They might. I'm not going to lie. I think they're going to beat the shit out of the Rams, but that's just me.
Fair enough.
Maybe because I just want to see a good game.
Chargers at Raiders. Give me the Chargers.
Give me the Chargers. Poor T. Lou. This is not going to be a good one for him.
I'm not going to lie. Give me the Raiders.
Oh,
they've won 2 in a row.
Yeah,
they're fucking up their tank. The Chargers don't have to do anything. They've already secured their spot. They're set. They hold the tiebreaker over the Broncos. They're gonna rest. So
fair enough. Dolphins at Jets.
Dolphins.
I got the Dolphins. Yeah.
Give me the Jets.
Oh, God.
Okay.
You're a freak. Anyways,
Jets.
and here is the last game of the regular season, fellas. It's been a good one. And honestly, this is ending it right because this is the first regular season game ever between two teams with 13 or more wins. It will also determine the 2024 NFC North champion, the first seed in the NFC, and will make the loser the first 14-win wildcard team in
Crazy.
NFL history. We have the
Crazy.
Vikings at the Lions. I am going to go with the Vikings. And I'm
Okay.
doing it confidently.
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. That defense is in shambles. There's only one silver lining, and that's Kirby Joseph for Detroit. He's a dog.
And Branch. Their
Yeah,
fucking safeties are great.
Yeah, but not gonna lie. I Minnesota's gonna light them up. Give me the Vikings. Unfortunately, it's gonna be a high scoring affair though.
Oh yeah.
Two high powered offenses against one bad defense. So
I think that the Vikings are going to take this. I'm not going to say it confidently, like Zach's saying, but I think I can take the Vikings on this one.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, that wraps it up, fellas.
that's it.
Couple things. Next week we'll probably do our predictions for awards and obviously the playoff predictions. So be on the lookout for that. And I think we should do a final power rankings too. Just
We're gonna do that.
Like simultaneously. Yeah. And then another announcement. Keaton kind of hinted at it, and I hinted at it as well. However, me, Diego, and Keaton will be at that Seattle game, so we will be vlogging that a little bit. Be on the lookout for that, and plenty more to come in 2025, fellas. I'm excited.
Should I go streaking? 25 comments and I streak. I'll do it.
Comment below.
25 comments. I'll
comment
do
below. All right, fellas. Well, that wraps it up.
Fellas.
You guys have anything else to say?
Nope, not at all. Happy New Year, everyone. And fellas,
New Year.
Let's make 2025 a great year.
Yeah. Please like, subscribe, comment. We'll see y'all next week. Peace.
Peace.
Late October last year. That was the last time they met until today. 35-yard field goal Lux. Fraboni the snap, Riley the hold, Lux the kick to win it. Oh! Blocked! The Chiefs have won! The Chiefs have won!